Hey everyone. Three ways of getting leads for your business. You can either do paid ads, or you can do outreach, cold outreach, or you can do content. Now, I usually categorize business owners into one of two categories. So either cash rich and time poor, or cash poor and time rich. So, in terms of absolutes, it's usually one or the other, but you can have, some variations in between. But you may find actually that you've not got much cash coming in, but you've also not got much time. So you've got no kind of spare cash or profit to reinvest in something like paid ads. And that's usually where you might be a busy fool or something like that. So that's something to address as well. If you just spend as much as what's coming in, you're not profitable. That's something to look at as well. In terms of your profit margins. But generally speaking, if you're just starting out in business, you've usually got a lot of time on your hands, but maybe you're undercapitalized. And undercapitalization is actually one of the main reasons why businesses fail in the first place. So having a bit of cash behind you and watching your costs, especially in the early days in business, is always a good idea. But if I was going to pick one thing to do, when starting out, it'd definitely be cold outreach. So you've got cold calling, cold emails, direct messages, so DMs over social media like Instagram, that kind of thing. And you know what? A lot of people kind of frown upon actually doing outreach, and a lot of people you'll speak to in business might say, well, I get all my leads through referrals, through word of mouth, and they almost like wear that as a badge of honour. And of course, word of mouth and referrals are always your golden leads. They're always going to be, like the cheapest form of getting new business in, but it only goes so far. It's not like you can, if you just sat there waiting for the phone to ring or contact forms to come through the website, and you're being reactive rather than proactive, then you might run into a hard time in terms of getting new business in. So you'll have kind of a ceiling of what you can do in terms of that. So that's where outreach comes in. That's where paid ads comes in. That's where creating content comes in. And the thing is, let's say you've got some budget to put into paid ads, and you've got proof of concept, and you've got something that you know is working. So you've sold something already, and you know that if you just put some more money into your acquisition, then you're going to get some more clients in. Then it's a good time to put some money into paid ads. Now look, there's a lot of people out there saying you can do paid ads on $5 a day, £5 a day, and that can work, but I'd say you want to, generally speaking, a bigger budget than that, because it's just going to take ages and ages to kind of go through your cycles of testing and your iterations and things like that when you're running paid ads. So I'll give you a strategy on this that you could try for your business. I don't know what kind of business you've got, watching this, but let's say you're a logo designer. If you're just starting out as a logo designer, for example, I would definitely, and you're targeting business to business, so it's worth knowing your avatar, it's worth knowing your ICP, so your ideal customer profile. But I would most definitely start outreaching to businesses that may need your services. So you could actually go onto Google. You can go onto web directories like Yell.com. You can go onto Google Maps, and you can find businesses, and you can have a look at the website. You can have a look at the logo. You can maybe find some businesses which don't even have websites on Google Maps, and you could cold call them, and you could offer them your services. So that's a perfectly legitimate, really quick way to get leads. And in terms of knowing your KPIs, your key performance indicators, you could do something like, right, so for 100 dials, I'm going to try to reach 20 decision makers, and then I'm going to try to get, a few meetings from that, and then get one customer. And it doesn't always work where you get like a 1% conversion rate from stranger to customer, but you could try that. And it might turn out that you have to do 200 dials or 300 dials or 400 dials, but the thing is, not to get stuck into analysis paralysis, because it's surprising that how many business owners I speak to where they get to a point where they're just, I don't know, they've got no work coming in, and they're so kind of proud that they don't want to do cold outreach. They're so kind of proud that they don't want to create content, which I'll come to in a bit. And they think that paid ads is kind of like a bad thing to do. And I've even heard somebody say, well, if I run paid ads, they're not like genuine leads or anything like that. And it's just like you are literally hacking yourself to the top of Google if you're running Google ads. If you look at it like that, but it doesn't mean that earning your positions with SEO over time is definitely a good thing. But there's nothing wrong with running paid ads. So some of this some of these things that here might be like limiting beliefs and stuff like that. But the thing is, it's looking at the revenue that's coming in, look at the profit that's coming in, and thinking, right, is this what I plan to get? Am I getting enough in? What do I need to do? And having a marketing strategy, and that's what I help my clients to come up with. So if you're watching this video and you don't know what to do in terms of getting new leads in, and you're kind of a bit confused about what to do next, or if you just you might be an established business, work might have dried up, or you might be a new business and you're just not sure where to get started. Because if you read books like The E-Myth, that's all about being really good at what you do, as in a practitioner at what you do, but not necessarily knowing marketing. So that's where me as a marketer, as a digital marketer, comes in to help with a strategy, and in many instances, a done for you implementation of that strategy as well. So 3 ways to get business. You've got cold outreach, you've got content, you've got paid ads. Just to summarize, if you are cash rich but time poor, paid ads is a great way to do things. So if you start a business, you capitalise, you've got some money, you can definitely get quite far forward and scale up with paid ads. If you don't have much money but you've got a lot of time on your hands, then paid ads might not be for you. And I would definitely use your time, like we call outreach and content, to get some business in. Now, obviously, if you do all 3, they're all going to work hand in hand. So when you cold call somebody, they're going to look online, they're going to check if you've got some content. Usually people who've got content out there, it's going to improve that know, like, and trust. Generally, scammers don't have. If you cold call somebody, they're checking if you're a scammer, they're looking online. If you've got content, that's going to build that trust, and they're going to think, right, if they were a scammer, they won't be putting content out there. So the 2 go hand in hand. You do some cold calling, you've got the content. It's better if you do both. The same with running paid ads. If you're running paid ads on Facebook, for example, and then you've got the social proof from some video testimonials, it's working with your content. Then you've got some, you've got your content from your social media as well. So if you're running Facebook ads, for example, they might look at your page, your Facebook page, look at your content on there, have a deeper dive into what you do, maybe seek you out on YouTube, so if you've got YouTube. Same as if if you're running Google ads, they'll look for any Google reviews, look for your Trustpilot, that kind of thing. So all these things go hand in hand. So the kind of answer is that everything works, but you've got to do a test and measure in marketing. So actually get a Google sheet, get a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, and actually, you're doing 100 dials that day. Actually type that in that you're doing to keep a record of it, because what you don't test, you can't improve. But yeah, those are 3 things that you can get business in. So content, paid ads, outreach. Which of those work? They all work. You just got to test it, because there's different variables. There's going to be, if you're doing content, you've got your hook, you've got your offer, all that kind of thing. So there's different things. Some people might do a bit of content, then say, oh, I've done content for a week and content doesn't work, or it doesn't work for my business, or something like that. Giving it a week isn't really going to do much. So thinking of a longer time frame is definitely the way to go as well. So do anything over like 2 or 3 months at the very least, just to start to get the data together, and then you can double down on some areas that are working and test different things out, A/B test, multivariate test, split test, all that kind of thing. So there's a lot to do in that regard, but don't let any of that stop you from actually just picking up your phone, creating some content. Don't wait until you got the best microphone. Don't wait until you got a better phone. Don't wait until you got a better, camera or video camera or whatever to get started. Just whichever camera you've got, just use that. Create some content, and then I think most people now have got a phone, so you can pick up the phone, dial some numbers, and get some business in that way. And then there's lots of YouTube content on there on running paid ads and stuff like that, so you can learn to run paid ads yourself, or you can use an agency like mine, Internet Marketing Platinum, to run your ads as well. So there's lots of different things that you can do. Really no excuses for not getting some more business in it. It's just activity levels basically. How much should you be doing this a day? At least 90 minutes. So at least 90 minutes of content, at least 90 minutes. So just like initially, just to get started, pick one. Yeah, pick one thing. I would pick cold outreach for somebody who was time rich, cash poor. Like I said, I wouldn't start with paid ads. I'd do paid ads once you've got some momentum, which offers are working, stuff like that. You can start with a low budget, but that takes longer for testing. Just make a start today, make a start as soon as watching this video, and I'll see you next time.